So what's your guys' biggest musical inspiration?
Well, they're very far apart.
Yeah, let Brandon start with this.
I'd say, Manian probably has more of the artistic approach, where I have a little more of the party bombastic approach. Well, this is probably the epitome of the kind of, not bizarre, but, more show than song probably was, Kiss was the first band that got me interested in playing the guitar. Being a little bit of a comic book nerd as well, you could say, it was kind of like taking superheroes and rock music and merging them together. And at 12 years old, seeing that on TV for the first time, and you're starting to get an interest in women, and obviously there was plenty of women involved with Gene alone, aside from the rest of the band. That it was like, yeah, that's cool, that's what I want to do, and then from there it just sprouted out into other bands from that era, or that kind of vibe, big Van Halen fan, Bon Jovi, Aerosmith. I never really got too much into more current music. Now that I'm a little older, I'm a little more open-minded and listen to a lot of different stuff, but it's one of those things where you might hear a new song that's cool, you give it a couple spins, but I always end up winding up going back to the same stuff I was listening to when I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of holds that place there.
And we got to take a commercial break.
Yeah, it is. So
we'll
yeah,
be
we'll
back
hold
with Manion's answers after this.
That is right. All right, so before the break, we were talking about musical inspirations, and it's Manion's turn, so what do you got?
Well, see, we have some CDs here, actually.
Right.
Cloud Nothings, that's one. Miniature Tigers. No,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were serious or not.
oh, no, they're right here in front of me.
Well, let me tell you, if Selena Gomez does not get a Grammy, I don't know what will these days.
Actually, what I consider like the four basic food groups: Paul McCartney, David Bowie, Jim Croce, and Jim Morrison. For me, so.
All right, so Derek, anything else? Sorry, I'm not the question man. You're the question man.
All right, how would you guys describe yourselves in just a few words?
Clown.
All right.
No, he actually asked for the band, not you. I would have said clown too, but
You guys can do personally and then for the band.
oh, well, for the band, I would say
Unparalleled awesomeness.
yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right.
I like that.
How did you guys come up with the name Jet City Vega?
That is an interesting story. This is actually the third name for this band. Originally, when we started, we were originally called Silver Screen Prom Queen, and with some vocal consideration from people close to us, basically suggesting that was a tongue twister, we were like, okay, so
People thought we were a thug hip-hop act
Right.
with that name.
yeah, that wore prom dresses,
Right.
which is actually the truth.
It was intimidating.
Yeah, so
It was violent.
then it was then the idea came, which was not by me by any means, to name the band Manian after my first name, and then we discovered that there is a European techno DJ who has got millions of fans, and his name is Manian. So we were like, okay, well, we can't do that. So Jet City Vega kind of came out of that. We, went to libraries, looked in the back of dictionaries.
Free Wi-Fi cafe.
Yeah, just to try to find, and really, this name is just a play on, like Jet City Vega, jet being like a fast-paced moving, object in a sense. City, kind of a broad term in terms of, for like rock bands, we play a lot of big cities.
The big city, yeah.
And Vega is like the brightest star, second to the sun, I believe?
Something like that.
And so we kind of consider ourselves a band that wants to be the most, the loudest.
We want to stand out.
Most memorable, most impacting. So that's those three words just kind of like worked together, I would say. So
It just sounds pretty freaking cool too.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, I like it.
yeah, thank you.
I mean, I definitely pat myself on the back for that.
Yeah, it was really Brandon's idea.
Okay.
It's our drummer writes all the songs.
Yeah. We have nothing to do with any of this.
Do you guys have any hobbies besides music?
Oh, let me start this one. My hobbies consist of just really watching movies. I'm a huge comic book fan, so anytime I can pick up a comic book that I have on my bookshelf, and I love, the old 80s cartoons like He-Man and all that stuff. So my wife and I have Netflix, and that's when we have off time, I stream a lot of that stuff and just kind of relive my childhood. So, in comparison to like being 160 all the time, when I'm at home, I get to at least veg and just watch mindless television. So that's a hobby, I think.
Yeah, but most of my hobbies are probably illegal in at least one state out of 50.
Yes.
I'm pretty much right there with Manian. I frequent Netflix a lot. I mean, just not really much a fan for. Frankly, there's just a lot of garbage on television.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna watch something, I like kind of either picking a movie or one of the better series that they might have available on there. I have a 2-year-old son, so I'm training him to be the next fool in the the bloodline. He's great. He's already got a bit of an ear for music as well. I tend to think he's probably going to wind up being a drummer. Outside of family life, I've got a beautiful girlfriend with 3 amazing children as well. It's just your typical what everyone else does: cow tipping and smoking things that you buy in the cleaning section of the grocery store.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, just pretty straight ahead stuff.
Yeah.
So how did you guys get involved with your producer?
One of our close friends, who is also our, manager, booking agent, kind of got us a meeting with Obi, and we played him a couple demo songs, and we, it's kind of one of those things. You see the old cliche story. You go to like the big music guy, and you're playing your stuff and you hope he likes it, and then he like throws you out of the house. That didn't happen. So we were all nervous, but we played him some songs, and he liked what he heard and said, all right. He said, let's do it. So, and that's just kind of how it happened.
All right.
And how was it working on the EP then? I don't know, what kind, you guys get in the studio for anything, or how did that all go?
It was fun, but it was definitely trying as well. I mean, you certainly, when you're working with someone with that kind of experience in the industry, I mean, you're getting pushed for every ounce of juice you got, to get the best. So, I mean, in the end, you listen to the stuff in playback, and it's the most rewarding thing in the world. But, I mean, there were certainly times where I think we were all sweating a little bit. Just you're under a little bit of pressure, to say the least.
Yeah, being in the studio is kind of like being in school in a way. Very long, a lot of long hours, especially when it's repetitious guitar parts, and you're just trying to find that right thing. But in that, you learn, and Obi is someone who is very straightforward. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, and he only really wants the best of the artists or the band. So he really pulled a lot of things that were kind of deep down inside us that we didn't even know existed, and he pulled them out. And when he needed to crack the whip, he cracked the whip, which is, I think great. I think it made us better musicians because of that experience. But it was, it was fun, and it was boring and expensive. But I mean, the end result, I think, is amazing, and we're happy about it. And we're excited. So it was all worth it, really.
Lunchtime was always great.
Yeah, lunchtime was the best. I think that was my favorite.
Between burritos and Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
It was life-changing stuff for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So how long were you guys in the studio to make the EP?
We started actually last March. So it took us
March 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 2011.
Yeah, it took us a little over a year. Well, no, not a little over a year. It took us I think we finished everything a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Got mixed and mastered a couple months ago. So
it actually took us a year to get it done, but that's not. We weren't literally recording for an entire year. For we'd get to do a couple sessions, then either Obi would have to go over to Europe with Bon Jovi, or we would need to raise some more finances, or scheduling conflicts usually. So I mean, if you actually condense the sum total of the time we spent, I'd say we probably spent a total of what do you think, like 2-3 weeks in the studio, like all together.
I blacked out during most of that session, so I don't even know. Sure, I'll say yes.
It probably took us a total of, I'd say maybe a month when you include like mix and master. But like I said, I mean, that's spread out over the course of a year due to scheduling, or we actually at one point kind of had to start the record over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and plus we, during all of that, the whole process, we've been playing too. So I mean, our schedule with that was just as crazy as. Well, I don't know if it was just as crazy. I mean, Obi's, he's the guy. So, I mean, he's got to be at 50 places at once kind of thing. And, so, but it all worked out. I mean, it sounds amazing, and we're very happy with it. And, we can't wait to release it to the public and, get this train rolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned that you had to start it over at one point.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well,
Mickey Mouse shenanigans.
Yeah, really, not to really get too much into it. Just things didn't jive at the time, and we had to make some changes, and we I think we feel we made the right decision, and we did it, and what we have now is just beautiful music and just a great finished product. So, sometimes you kind of come to a point with something, and then you kind of have to move from that, and that's kind of what we had to do, and that's what we did ultimately. And sometimes you hope it goes great. It's a scary situation, but I think the end result proves that was the best thing.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're going to head on break then for now. When we get back, you guys want to play something for us then?
Sure.
All right, cool. So yeah, here's a couple of commercials for you. When we get back, Jet City Vega is going to play some music for us. So keep it locked here, WIXQ 917. Love it.